pandemic has tenfold increased those that are working remote. So 54% of the population is working remote. And we're going to tie all these things in regards to telehealth and investment in those areas, and then the remote piece too. What do you see is, so for the half of the people that are involved in production, involved in aspects of how do you keep that environment safe? How do you manage traceability when you have somebody that tests positive for COVID? There's a whole degree of complexity now that's added, right? So maybe you could talk about the 2 or 3 biggest challenges you've seen since the pandemic from a manufacturing perspective.
Well, number one, so there's the obvious ones, right? There's supply chain. So we've seen issues with clogging in the supply chain. We've seen issues with suppliers wanting to dump or unload more inventory on their customers.
Sure.
We've also seen some instances where the supply chain is full and has everything that we need, but we're not ready to pull yet, right? So because we've had to accommodate for COVID protocols within our manufacturing process, getting everybody trained to be able to follow those protocols. And it goes a little bit beyond, some companies are back to manufacturing. They've got PPE set up. They've got, you got to wear a mask, and they've moved workstations and testing stations 6 feet apart. But in addition to that, knowing how, the capacity of the building, how many people are you going to let inside for the day, or scheduling testing time in bays and scheduling testing time with tools has become not a challenge, but something that we've had to reconfigure, right? Because the pandemic hit at a time where things were just clocking along and everybody was working at their own pace. Now we almost had to stop and work at the pace of the pandemic.
Absolutely. Yeah. Do you have to enter the building, and for those that are working on site, are you doing temperature testing when you come in the building?
Absolutely. Yeah. So we have we actually have a pandemic team that formed almost out of necessity to make sure that all of our buildings globally were following not just CDC guidelines, but we put in place our own practices as well. Temperature checks and physical distancing, hand washing, and mask wearing.